Hi guys, welcome to another movie crew review. Today we'll be reviewing Freakier Friday.
The movie stars Jamie Lee Curtis, Lindsay Lohan, Julia Butters, and Sophia Hammond.
So the sequel to Freaky Friday, 22 years later, sees Tess and Anna endure another one of these body switching moments, this time between Anna's daughter and their stepdaughter to be. So I'm going to start off the review, and today in John's Popcorn Corner, we have the Freaky Friday cup that is a popcorn tub and a popcorn that is actually a drink.
Ah, switch.
Yeah, they got it going. They got it going. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for creativity, but
Not for
not as good as Mission Impossible. But now on to the review of the film. I enjoyed the film. It's nothing much of a standout for me. The first one's pretty unique in terms of it takes the 1970s one and like modernizes it, gets the real life aspects pretty good between the mother and daughter and does those things kind of well. This was a bit more of a scene for Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan's characters and getting them on screen a bit more. I did enjoy the acting in it, but overall I think that it wasn't as funny as I would have liked. It kind of does show that it was a Disney Plus brought to cinemas experience, a bit more than Lilo and Stitch did. So if you're going in here thinking that it's going to be completely like box office, don't get that idea. It's not as box office as the first one, but I mean, to see the characters again, similar premise, but this time with the young daughters, and you've got two this time, so you got help each other out. I think that the comedy does come from the situation of it all, but the other characters that come into it, probably the scene stealer for me was her fiance, Anna's fiance in the film. Quite a good actor. I like listening to the voice and things like that. So yeah, that was a nice dynamic, but yeah, pretty much follows the storyline from the first one, just transposed like 22 years later. Shout out to Jethro Gibbs, who's in the film, plays Ryan. I don't know his real name, but it's close enough. Yeah, NCIS, like that character, so he was a good addition. And Chad Michael Murray from the first one again, playing the cool rocker dude. So overall, it's quite a good film. Moon?
I haven't seen there are two of them before.
Well, there was the one
with
from
Jodie
2003 and the Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster one. But I've seen a slasher, I think, I can't remember. So I know this concept has been done to death now, and I was like not going very optimistic into this movie, and I would say the acting was pretty good, especially when they switched the whatever bodies in. So the main focus was on Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis most of the times, because they're like actors and the other are like teenagers. So the acting was fine, and I think at the end it was a bit of emotional, and so that was well done. But my biggest problem is because we have to focus on four characters, they have switched, and I was getting lost, honestly, that who is who, especially when they are all four in the same scene. When they're like just two of them, I could like, okay, I can deal with it. But when there are four of them, like, who is that? I wanted Morgan Freeman to come in and sort of give us an exposition run and mark out who is who, and so that at least I can like get along with the movie. Sorry. But yeah, so even when there was emotional, like at the end was getting emotional, I was still a bit, is that person? So I don't know, maybe it will be better on multiple viewing. I'm not gonna watch it, so this is my final viewing. I'm gonna base on that. And yeah, I think four characters was way too much for me to handle, so yeah, didn't enjoy it much. Cameron?
Yeah, for when this movie was announced, I was pretty just like, why? But then after coming to terms with it, I go, they're either going to make a sequel that no one asked for, or they're going to revamp the revamp, which I wouldn't have been happy with anyway. So it would have, for me, it was already a lose-lose situation going into it. But the good thing for me, the lead up and the climax was the biggest payoff for me. I think they did the emotional scene really well, how they're all coming together. I thought, I'm just like, thank God, because the other garbage I had to go through for an hour, 20 minutes. Like, it's your typical young Disney Channel straight from the movie, like John said, like sort of Disney, you could see it was Disney Plus written all over it, but the comedy was just that slapstick Disney movie that I used to watch when I was younger, but now I'm older and I didn't resonate with me at all, the comedy, and so I didn't find pretty much anything funny, but maybe that's more, if I was maybe a woman, I could relate to things a bit more, but in terms of the comedy for me, yeah, it felt very short, but the emotional scene was really, really well done, so it really saved the movie in my eyes. Otherwise, I probably would have been really upset that I watched it, but the acting was pretty good, like Moon said. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis, she's done alright, so, I mean, yeah, and Lindsay Lohan, I'm not her biggest fan, but I think she did okay in this movie. But yeah, it's just your typical old school Disney movie. I think fans of the series will appreciate that, I think, because that's what they like, and so that's the original, so it just plays more to the sequel part of it. But for me, I don't know, maybe growing up, I've grown out of it, as opposed to falling more in love with it. I mean, I don't have any nostalgia for the original. I didn't really enjoy it as a kid either. So, like I said, it was a lose-lose situation for me going in. But, like I said, the climax really was the payoff for me. I thought, so if there's any props for this movie, it's, yeah, the emotional scene at the end.
Yeah, I did. There was one acting person I didn't touch on, which was her daughter Harper, Julie Butters. I thought she was a really good actress. Surprising. I haven't seen her in much, so I was actually really surprised by her character and how, when she does the switch, how easily I took it. I do get what you mean. For me, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lily, the two characters,
Yeah.
they were like starting to get difficult, especially near the end. Like when like the emotions were good, but then when they started to get emotional, they seemed to still like blend together the performances, where at least Harper and Anna's characters, even when they were still emotive, I still could tell which one was which at what point. But she was pretty good in switching it between the kid and then the adult in the kid's body. So
I think it helps because it's the mother and the daughter, as opposed to Jamie Lee Curtis's character is the grandmother to the future stepdaughter. So there was no connection there to tie them together at all. But with Lindsay Lohan's character, you knew she was the mum and the daughter, so they already had sort of an established relationship. But yeah, the stepdaughter, Lily's character, she's just sort of shoveled in there, so it's harder to generate a connection with her and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah. I mean, without her, it's the one funny thing I really found funny was when they were walking to the car at the start of the movie, and she laughs that's what I laughed at when she's doing the English accent.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, so, but other than that, the Lily character was a bit meh. You know, you could have kept Jamie Lee Curtis in her own body and then just had them switch and Jamie Lee Curtis trying to help him out. That's how you work her into this thing. You don't need the double switch.
Yeah, because like Gamla said, they're not like part of the family, so it's like someone from outside world coming in and doesn't make much sense. But I did appreciate that when they switched to the like teenage bodies and they can eat whatever they want and they can run how much they want because, they're getting older. So I did like that aspect. I wish they explored that more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even the other side to it as well.
Yeah.
And she's complaining she can't get up because she's too old.
Yeah, true.
So they did the swap good, but for me that build up to the emotional scene was just too long and too much slapstick comedy, which I think I've grown out of. But so yeah, I think that sort of pacing was a bit stretched out, especially with I didn't appreciate the ex coming back. I thought, I know that it's a sequel, so you got to shove him in there too. But for me,
Didn't do anything.
it didn't add anything. It just added more of that comedy in this movie that I didn't like. So I thought his character could have just been dismissed. I mean, she's moved on. So why are we as a movie going back?
Could have just had the call back when he was at the wedding and they walk past him and they have the whole dread. That could have been the only callback you would have needed for that character. Let's be honest. Like,
Yeah.
that, take him out, you cut 20 minutes out, bring it back to the original runtime, and it's a lot less mud and muck to be going through. You just get to the point. That's where the first film was good. We got to the point a lot quicker, but also they seem to take it more seriously in the first film. I know you haven't seen it, but they seem to take like her going to school. She actually goes to school and goes to the classes, and Jamie Lee Curtis is having to like go and do her therapy job and like train. Whereas like this film, it was like, oh, perfect. We did this body switch on like day off, and like the work just, I didn't like Jamie Lee Curtis was just like, I don't do anything now kind of thing. It was just, for me, it was, I would have preferred it if they were trying to take it a bit more serious, but
And the scene in there, like the immigration interview.
yeah,
That
weird.
was so cringe. I'm sorry. I was uncomfortable watching that scene.
That's your standard, Disney
slapstick, yeah.
Disney slapstick comedy.
Yeah,
when you're young, you find that hilarious, but now I'm older, I can see why maybe my parents sort of walked off when I watched these movies. I can understand it a bit more now.
It's a 10-year-old's movie.
Alright guys, gonna give our scores.
Yeah.
Moon, how many fortune cookies out of 10?
I gave 5.5 fortune cookies out of 10.
John?
I'll give it 6 fortune cookies out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give it 5.5 fortune cookies out of 10. Alright guys, make sure to like, subscribe, check out our socials, and we'll catch you on the next one. Ciao.